Welcome to the Urban Renewal Budget Committee on Wednesday, May 10th. Let's convene the Urban Renewal Budget Committee. Roll call, please.
Sure. Borrow your mic.
Commissioner President Shaw, what we might do is go around the room and have folks introduce themselves as well as part of that roll call, if that's your pleasure, because we got a couple of new Budget Committee citizen members as well.
Okay.
Does that work?
Good. Thank you. So, with introduction.
I'm William Gifford, live in Oregon City. Well, I guess I have to live in Oregon City. So, there.
Chris Cook.
Brian Shaw, Urban Renewal Commission and City Commission. So.
Joanne McCall.
Renata Mickelberg, City Commissioner and Renewal Commission.
Bob Maloney. Frank O'Donnell, Urban Renewal Commission and City Commission.
Steve Van Haverbeek, Urban Renewal Commission.
Mike Mitchell, Urban Renewal Commission.
Wyatt Parno, Support Staff, Finance Director.
Tony Kunkel, City Manager.
Dan Holliday, Mayor.
Nancy Ide, City Commission and Urban Renewal Commission.
Go ahead, Ray.
Ray Gordon, Urban Renewal Commission.
Jim Christopher, City Budget and Urban Renewal Budget Committee.
Thank you. All right. Next is to elect our chairperson for the evening. Any nominations, please?
I'll nominate Mayor Dan Holliday as chair.
Second.
Any other nomination? Okay, we've got a motion for Mr. Holliday as chair, or Mayor Holliday as our chairperson. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Holliday, Mayor Holliday, please.
Okay.
Resume here.
So do we have any public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on. I would entertain a motion to review and approve the minutes of April 21st, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Shaw, seconded by Commissioner Megerberg. Call the roll, please.
We just do.
Oh, by acclamation, there we go. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Now we'll receive the message from the budget officer, Mr. Conkle.
Thank you. Really appreciate all the Urban Renewal Commissioners, Budget Committee members for taking the time to be here tonight to help us get through this budget hearing. So Wyatt and his staff's done a great job of putting together the budget for your consideration tonight. So we'll go ahead and give that presentation and then be happy to answer any questions once we've completed that. The Oregon City Urban Renewal Agency's 2017-2019 proposed biennial budget is balanced and has been prepared in accordance with Oregon budget law. For the period of July 1, 2017 through June 30th, 2019, the total budget is $8.4 million. The Urban Renewal Agency is a separate legal entity from the City of Oregon City that is established under state law. Oregon Revised Statutes Chapter 457.0351 creates a public body corporate and politic to be known as the Urban Renewal Agency for each municipality. The Oregon City Urban Renewal Commission is responsible for providing oversight for the urban renewal activities in the district as specified in the Downtown North End Urban Renewal Plan, amended in September of 2007. The Urban Renewal Commission is composed of 7 voting members, Oregon City's mayor, 4 city commissioners, and 2 additional members from the community. On November 8th, 2016, voters approved Measure 3-514 to amend the Oregon City Charter by prohibiting the use of existing tax increment revenues for any purpose other than retiring existing agency debt. The proposed budget includes only expenses relating to debt repayment paid by tax increment revenues, payment of contractual obligations that existed prior to the effective date of the measure, and operating expenses for properties owned by the agency that are funded from rental income. The question of whether the measure is legally enforceable is currently under review by the Clackamas County Circuit Court. The proposed budget is funded by total biennial revenues of $5.2 million, excluding beginning fund balances, 97% of which are from property taxes. The revenues increased by approximately $537,000 or 11.5% over the previous budget. Tax increment increases are budgeted at 4% and 4.5% for each year of the biennium, respectively, based on growth trends in the area. And additional revenue sources include $170,000 in income from property rentals and interest. Projected spending for the biennium totals $4.1 million and is comprised of $3.2 million in debt repayment, $700,000 for the agency's contractual obligated contribution to the Cove project, $120,000 for contractually obligated adaptive rehab reuse grant awarded to 503 Main Street, and $82,000 for maintenance and operations of the rental properties. A reserve for future expenditures of $4.3 million is available for appropriation pending resolution of the current lawsuit. The Downtown North End Urban Renewal Plan includes an estimated debt limit of $130.1 million as a maximum for urban renewal investment. Debt outstanding on July 1, 2017 will be approximately $9.5 million. So those are the budget highlights and the budget message that present you tonight. I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has with the presentation or the proposed biennial budget.
If I may make a comment, City Manager, and thank you, Chair. So for the committee members, some practical discussion really quick about how the budget was put together. Tony and I had talked about this, Maria, and thinking about very specifically, there's an outstanding lawsuit. We're required under state law in order to be able to receive property tax revenue, or in this case, tax increment financing revenue, property tax revenue. We're required to hold this hearing, and so we're following due process there. It's an interesting time because there's a legal dispute occurring, which we probably wouldn't talk much about, and there are a couple of real estate transactions that occur prior to the measure taking place that we probably wouldn't talk much about. The way the budget is set up, as Tony just mentioned, is you've got the tax increment financing revenue coming in, and we're paying the current biennium's debt service with that, and we're setting aside the rest in reserve so that once the lawsuit is settled, and then upon discussion by the commission, they can make a determination about what they want to do with those funds. Otherwise, there's also a little bit of rental income from 4 properties that the Urban Renewal Commission owns, and then that money is dedicated towards repair and maintenance, property taxes, property management of those facilities. So currently the budget is presented to be respectful of the measure that was passed in November, and also flexible by reserving those funds so that the commission can access them upon determination of the court. So with that.
So was that your budget review?
That is my budget review. Happy to answer questions. It just might be light, and I don't think anybody should feel uncomfortable or they didn't do a good job because of that.
There's about 8 lines.
Are there,
want to go through?
Are there questions?
4 in, 4 out.
No questions?
I got one.
Mr. Mahoney?
Let's say the courts go with the voters and the money that is collected, where would that go back to? Would it go back to the taxpayer?
Yeah, so your question, Budget Committee Member Mahoney, is if the court ruled to uphold the vote and require that tax increment financing be only used to make debt service payments, then the money that's appropriate would be paid toward paying down the debt. And we project probably 4 to 5 years of debt payments until such time as the urban renewal could be closed with all the debt paid. Okay.
Mr. Gifford?
Mr. Chair, it seems to me in all likelihood that regardless of the decision of the circuit court that there will be an appeal of that decision.
Is that a question?
No, and because of that, I still think it's prudent that we set this money aside because we don't know what's going to happen if there is an appeal.
It doesn't really have anything to do with prudence. It has to do with law, that, while we're in this phase, that's all we can do. Yeah. Mr. Shaw?
What are the rental properties? What are those that we own?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we've got 2 residential rentals across from the Stillhouse. If you want a tour, let me know. Where on Washington Street where Clackamas Landscape Supply is, where all the rocks are piled up, the Urban Renewal Agency owns that property and leases it to Clackamas Landscape Supply. So that's probably the majority of the rental income, and then the train station as well.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Ray, did you have a question or comment?
Actually, I had a question. Those 2 properties across from Stillhouse, wasn't that purchased for tourism thing, for the elevator, or not the elevator, I'm sorry, but for the, I don't know if you call it a gondola.
It was,
Wasn't that purchased for that?
yeah, thank you, Budget Committee Member Gordon. That was, those are purchased for access capacity to the Willamette Falls Legacy Project.
Should, but, well, yeah, they were actually purchased
If
way
you'd like
before
to
that.
expand.
That was before the Legacy project
They
was.
were, yeah, it was purchased because they were thinking about putting that,
Tram.
what do you call it?
An aerial
tram.
tram.
A tram?
Yeah, tram. I just wanted to, I was on some of those meetings, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the 2017-2019 urban renewal biennial budget.
I move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Van Haverbeek, seconded by Commissioner Christopher. Further discussion? Call roll, please.
Chair, you might just, did we ask for public comment, just even though?
I did public comment at the beginning, right where it says it on the agenda.
Thank you. Okay. Just checking.
Committee Member Christopher.
Aye.
Committee Member Ide.
Aye.
Committee Member Mitchell.
Aye.
Committee Member Van Haverbeek.
Aye.
Committee Member O'Donnell.
Aye.
Committee Member Mahoney.
Aye.
Committee Member McCall.
Aye.
Committee Member Mengelberg.
Aye.
Committee Member Shaw.
Aye.
Committee Member Cook.
Aye.
Committee Member Gifford.
Aye.
Committee Member Gordon.
Aye.
And Chair Holliday.
Aye. With that, motion carries and we're adjourned.